Kenya tunayoipenda
daima.
Kenya nchi tunayoipenda.
Asante DJ, tunaweza keti. Tunaweza keti. So let me briefly, let me put you into context, yeah? One, I think there is food. There is food catered for everyone. So when the delegation from the National Treasury and the county government will sit, please let's minimize movements here. Again, we are live on TV. The session here today is fully being broadcasted live. Let's minimize movements hapa mbele. At the end of it, we will get at least transport reimbursement. Let's be orderly in that also. We have different stakeholders, tuko na boda boda, tuko na jua kali, alafu tuko na vijana comrades. I think everyone who sat here today has registered his or her name somewhere. If you have not, see me. We want to have a seamless program today. And when we start, remember I've said, we have a chance for open plenary where you get to ask Waziri questions. So let's maximize on that opportunity, engage constructively, and at the end of the day, we meet at a consensus. Once again, thank you for showing up. Any minute from now, we will be receiving our guests. Asante. DJ.
Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda, Kenya nchi tunayoipenda. Tujivunie sana tukijiita wa Kenya, nchi yenye baraka. Kenya nchi yenye baraka. Tumekomboa Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, tumebadili mwendo. Tutalinda katiba mpya. Anayependa Kenya ni yule mwenye kutenda haki kwa watu wote. Mtu mwenye kutenda haki. Na ukipenda Kenya ujitengane na mambo yenye kuvunja amani. Hatutaki matata Kenya. Wenye nchi Kenya kipenzi chetu, nchi yenye upendo, hatutaacha Kenya daima na milele. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Na nikienda nje sitasahau Kenya, na nitabaki Mkenya daima na milele. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Na tumeapa sote wenye nchi ya Kenya, kutumikia Kenya daima na milele. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Kenya kipenzi chetu, hatutaiacha milele daima. Sitaiacha Kenya nchi yangu. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Umoja wetu Kenya tudumishe. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Sitadanganywa kamwe na porojo. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Zenye kuleta chuki kati yetu. Mimi ni mwenye Kenya daima. Nitatetea Kenya. Wala sitakubali ukabila. Sitaharibu mali ya wengine. Na majirani wangu nitalinda. Wenye nchi wenzangu, tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda. Tushangilie Kenya, taifa letu tukufu, Kenya tunayoipenda. Kenya nchi tunayoipenda. Kenya nchi tunayoipenda.
Wivu ni adui mkubwa kwa ujenzi wa taifa, kwani ndicho kiini hasa kisababisha chonja. Ewe ndugu yangu we, amka kumekucha, kamata jembe na panga, twende shamba. Hata wewe mwanangu, amka kumekucha.
wa fedha Waziri John Mbadi, tusimame sote tukimkaribisha waziri kwa shangwe na vigelegele. Tumsherekee. The Right Honorable Cabinet Secretary for Finance. Let's clap. Let's celebrate as we welcome waziri. Tumkaribishe waziri wa fedha John Mbadi kwa shangwe na vigelegele. Karibu sana waziri John Mbadi. Karibu waziri wetu wa fedha. Meru hoye! Meru hoye! Karibu waziri John Mbadi. Karibu Meru County. Asante sana. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's remain upstanding as we sing the national anthem. Thank you. As we remain standing, let me welcome Reverend to pray for us. That is Reverend Joshua Mukendia, please.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Haleluya. Tusalimiane hewani. Kwa majina naitwa Reverend Joshua Mukendia kutoka Adhobo Goshi West. Mungu niokoka, nimeona mkono wa Bwana. Tuombe. Baba, katika jina Yesu Kristo, tazama asubuhi ya leo tumekuja mbele zako na kuinua macho yetu na kutazama, kwa maana hakuna aliye kama wewe. Baba, tazama yekao ni yekao ambapo tunakuja kushuhudia ama kuongea maneno ile itainua hii kaunti yetu, Mungu wa maajabu, ama ya kuinua hii Kenya yetu, Mungu wa maajabu. Baba, tazama wakati huu nchi yetu ya Kenya inaendelea vizuri, na tunakuomba Mungu wetu iweze kuendelea zaidi. Roho wako aweze kututangaza, kutuongoza. Baba, tunachukua nafasi hii hata kuombea hii kaunti yetu vile iko na utulivu. Tunakuomba Mungu usidi kutuongoza usiku na mchana. Hata wakati tunalala katika kitanda zetu, tunataka ukuona Mungu wetu ukituongoza na ukituinua. Tunaamini ya kwamba hii mkutano itakuwa ni mkutano wa baraka na itakuwa na mapenzi ya Mungu tatuongoza. Oh my Father, tunataka siku ya leo tunachukua nafasi hii hata kuombea wakubwa wetu wale wamesimama mbele zetu, Mungu wa maajabu, kawapea akili ya kutuongoza na ya kunena, na hata ile mnani atapata nafasi ya kunena na sisi. Mungu kamteremshie Roho Mtakatifu amuongoze. Tunajua mahali unatupeleka siku ya leo, utatufikisha hii mto na tuende mto mwingine mpya. Mungu, nikiombea hata nisafiri tuwala kwa manyumbani kwetu. Mungu Baba, kawasaidia siku ya leo, naweza kuwainua na ukaonekania usiku na mchana, na uongozi ule wa Meru County usindi kuwapatia nguvu na kuwaongoza, sababu tumeona kweli tangu huyo gavana anaanza kutuongoza, tumeona kweli Meru imekuwa na utulivu, tunakuwa na raha na tunapendana. Naye Baba kampatie nguvu zaidi na umupatie uwezo wa kulesha Baba katika jina la Yesu Kristo. Tunaomba ya mashashe Mungu wa maajabu, tukiwa utatuongoza na hiki kikao tukimaliza kwa utulivu, tutakwambia asanti, na tukirudi manyumba zetu tutainua jina lako tutasifu katika jina la Yesu Kristo. Tumeomba na kuamini. Say amen.
Amen, amen. We can all sit. Asanteni sana Meru. Meru hoye. Hapana. Meru hoye. Kwa ishara ya mikono nione wangapi wanakaribisha waziri kwa ishara ya mikono. Asante sana. Allow me begin by acknowledging the stakeholders we have today. Wanabiashara, tuinue mikono. Wanabiashara wa Meru County, wanabiashara, asante sana. Jua kali hoye. Mpo. Bodaboda ndio hapa pande hii. Bodaboda hai. Asante sana. Kwa wanabiashara mwisho ni matatu operators niliona pale, asante sana. Vijana, comrades, kwa mkono nione comrades wa Meru, asanteni sana. Thank you. Quickly, I would like to welcome the representation of the institution. That is Mr. Principal Dr. Mutembei Kigige, to officially welcome us to Meru County. Let's clap for him as he comes.
CS, DG, MPs present, the county representatives present, Bonda riders, the business community, Meru, and other representatives. I can see some of my old students there. I can also see my good friends, the MCAs present. All protocol observed. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. Nataka nichukue nafasi hii niweze kuwakaribisha the Meru National Polytechnic. Jina yangu kama vile mmesikia ni Dr. Mutembei Kigige, Chief Principal wa hii shule ambayo tuko, na mjumbe wa hii area ni Mheshimiwa Rahim Daud ambaye ako hapa siku ya leo na tunamheshimu. Nataka niseme mkiwa hapa mmekaribishwa sana. Ni mahali pazuri na pako na peace. Kama mnavyoona wanafunzi wetu wako sessions wakisoma, tuko na population ya between 10 and 12,000 all the time depending on the admission period. Na hapa tunafanya course tofauti nikiwakaribisha kwa sababu naona kuna kina youth wengi sana na watu ambao ni stakeholders. Sisi tunasema hakuna mtu anaanguka mtihani wa form 4. That's what we say. Hakuna mtu anaanguka. Kila mtu ambaye amemaliza kidato cha 4 ana qualify kufanya course hapa Meru na Polytechnic. Na May tuko na intake kubwa sana na tunataka 100% transition kama vile president wa hii nchi yetu amesema, tuhakikishe ya kwamba kuna 100% transition. Kwa hivyo msikubalie yeyote akae nyumbani kama hajaenda kujichukulia course yoyote. Na nikimalizia niseme Kuna washrooms pale nyuma, na hizo washrooms ziko marked VIP ladies and VIP gentlemen. Hizo ni washrooms za the first 2 rows here. Na hawa wakurugenzi wako hapa. Tuko na washrooms zingine hapa nyuma. Hata unaona hii nyumba, unaona hapa kuna washrooms, kuna ladies na kuna gents. Na pande ile ingine kuna gents ingine iko pale. Tafadhali tutumie hizo for now, and then we reserve those ones at the back for VIPs only. Sawa sawa? Most welcome CS and most welcome everybody kwa hii public participation ya siku ya leo. Asanteni sana and God bless you.
Asante sana Bwana Principal. Ningependa kumshukuru. Kwa sababu gani? Bwana Principal has spoke all the Kiswahili that Waziri was supposed to speak today. So if Waziri uses another language, please bear with him. Thank you so much, Bwana Principal. I will also, in that order, welcome the leadership of the institution. That is the President, to please come quickly and welcome the students and the other stakeholders to Meru County. Tumpigie makofi akija.
Okay, thank you. Our CS buddy, all protocols observed. My name is Riziki Gitonga, the President Meru National Polytechnic. Okay, on behalf of student body, I want to take this chance to welcome everybody around in Meru National Polytechnic. Meru National Polytechnic is the best school in the world. Whoever want to come, we advocate for innovation, technology, and more skills. Okay, asanteni.
Thank you. Bwana President, thank you. So as I've said, we have different stakeholders here today. Tuna wafanyibiashara, tuna vijana, tuna wanafunzi. Once again, we are all welcome to Meru County. So at this point, I will introduce the delegation that has come, and that is the home county. We have members of parliament. I can see the deputy governor here. So I will first start with the member of parliament, the area member of parliament, who will just briefly welcome Waziri, and he will again speak when the time is right. So Honorable Daud, tumpigie makofi akija.
Thank you. Mheshimiwa Waziri, my good friend, FCA, PA, Honorable John Badi, our Deputy Governor, my colleague, MP, MCAs who are here, Deputy Speaker, Majority Leader. I'll just be brief. I'll like all the MCAs first to stand, please, because we do not have much time. Waziri and those are our MCAs. The first one is the Majority Leader, Speaker, Area MCA, Majority Whip, our Chair of Budget, our Chair of Finance. Thank you. Those are the MCAs we have. We've got the Deputy Governor, but let me call Mheshimiwa because he's going. He's got another function to just say a word, and then I will invite the Deputy Governor to say a few words.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Daud, the area MP, the Cabinet Secretary, FCPA John Bandi, Cabinet Secretary Finance, the Deputy Governor, Meru County, standing in for the Governor, members of the County Executive present, MCAs and the leadership present, esteemed stakeholders, and the students of the Meru National Polytechnic. Good morning. Mine is very brief. It's just to welcome the Cabinet Secretary into this meeting. And as a Meru Linda, when I see us, I want to say that we are very delighted to have you here presenting this very important engagement. And I believe we are very lucky to have the Cabinet Secretary himself presiding this forum. And I believe the questions, the engagements that you have will be responded by the right person who is qualified, who has been a member of the National Assembly for a very long time, who fits very well in the docket that he is. So we have no worries. So Waziri, since you are at the center, we believe when you go back, you will implement the wishes of Meru people and the core. Meru is a very hospitable county. We have issues, and I believe they will be raised at the option time. And I believe they will be responded to appropriately. We have no cause of alarm. I know my seniors are harassing me. I want to Waziri to indulge me. I have another engagement, so that after this, you can allow me to leave. Asanteni sana na muwe na majadiliano mema. Asante.
Asante. So I'm not harassing him because this meeting is not for us. This meeting is for all the participants here. And before I call the DG, I just want Waziri to note a few things which His Excellency the President has said should be done for Meru. And I have already spoken to him, but I want to put it on record. It's the dual carriageway, which we have spoken, and the President recently, when he was here last week, he spoke about it. Waziri, the 5.4 billion has already been signed by a Chinese contractor 2 years back. We just need commissioning orders to be given. Secondly is the state lodge and the airstrip together with the golf course. It is just 100 or 200 meters from where we are right now. We would want that to be taken into account as well, together with other projects which we will discuss. But I don't want to take much time. I want to call on the DG to give her a few remarks so that we leave now this, because it's not a political forum today. Karibu Mheshimiwa. Mpigieni makofi tafadhali.
CS FCPA John Bandi, members of parliament that are present here, members of our county assembly, together with the entire leadership, our cabinet minister, Dr. Esther Rukunga, principal Meru National Polytechnic, the security team that is present here, as well as all the stakeholders. Good morning. I want to take this opportunity, Waziri, to welcome you here in Meru County on behalf of His Excellency, the Governor of Meru County, Reverend Isaac Mutuma Ntwethingia. We are here for a very important engagement, a public participation that is involving our community and the people of Kenya, so that they can be able to make decisions in terms of the budget of Kenya and also privatization of government businesses. Kwa watu wetu, nataka niseme ni muhimu sana tukue na hii mkutano, kuweza kujadiliana, kuweza kujua maneno ambayo serikali kuu imepanga kwa watu wetu wa Kenya, and especially in the next budget cycle ya 2026-2027. Biashara za serikali, those businesses are businesses that touch on the people of Kenya. And also I know that this government, the national government, is very intentional on reducing taxpayers' burden. And that is some of the reasons why they are proposing privatization. itapunguza gharama ya tax ambayo sisi tutakuwa tunalipa tukiwa wananchi, na pia itasaidia serikali on ways of improving the economy of Kenya, more so to be able to integrate the bottom-up approach ambayo this government has taken up. This is the reason why we are here. Na ni muhimu tukiwa wananchi pia sisi tukue na wakati ambao tunasema hii inapaswa kufanywa hivi, ama the decisions that are being made, we are also supposed to be involved. And basically, what feedback you give here will shape the finance bill coming next year, so that you can be able to make informed decisions for this government. We are hopeful, Waziri, that through this engagement, the next budget cycle, our people will be involved much more. And I really encourage not only public participation of our people in the national government, public participation forums, but also as a county government zinaendelea, ningeomba wale wengi muweze pia kuingia kusemezana na sisi, ndio hata sisi tukifanya budget ya hiyo mwaka ingine, your vision, your dreams should also be incorporated in those budgetary processes. Kwa hivyo Bwana CS and your team, karibuni sana. We are here to give support. The governor may not be here, but the full government is here by my presence. Asanteni sana. Thank you.
Thank you, mpigeni makofi. Just to tell Waziri, we are now tackling bill ya public participation, which is in a committee I am in, of Honorable Chepkonga with Honorable Otiende Omolo. So tunafanya hiyo bill ya public participation to be going through so that the courts do not throw out each and every public participation. Lakini ile public participation tunafanya leo, munatosheka watu wetu? Kama mkipeana waziri mnataka achukue hiyo hatua, ama hamuko tayari bado? Are you ready to give your views? Waziri, these people are ready to give their views, so I hope you will take that into account. Tusipate ile shida tumewahi kupata tukiwa na wewe bunge. The second one ni mambo ya privatization. That one is being handled in parliament, and as soon as we resume, tutakuwa tunaangalia hiyo privatization bill together with the public participation bill. So Waziri, it will make your work easier. With those few remarks, I wish you all, I'll be with you all through. So let's have decorum. Tukisema mambo zetu, acha tuiseme vizuri. Na nakushukuru Waziri, you found it fit to come to Meru region, to cover this region. I mean, it's the first time. Pigeni Waziri makofi. Mumewahi kumuona John Mbadi? Ama mnamsikianga tu? He is from a minority tribe. Ndio the first CS wa finance or treasury from a minority. Mpigeni makofi tena. Asante, Mungu awabariki.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa. I think the speakers have conclusively context briefed us. So I will go straight to stakeholders, and I will start with students. That is representation from Kenya Methodist University, Ian Muita Matiko. Karibu. Tumpige makofi akija.
Honorable CS, the Deputy Governor, acting in the stead of the Governor, the area MPs present, members of County Assembly, Office of the County Commissioner, and all the other stakeholders present, good morning. My very impressive names, Honorable CS, are Ian Mwita Matiko. I serve as the Secretary General, Kenya Methodist University, and the County Coordinator, Jukwaa la Wasomi, Meru County, and I am a certified peace mediator. So, Honorable PS, as we sit here to discuss the 2026 2027 budget cycle, I find myself inevitably thinking of the budget that we did last year. And I am not here to criticize any budget, but I am here to learn from it. So from last year, budgets, after all, are not just mere numbers on the paper, but lived realities for some students like me and the rest who are represented here. Honorable CS, in the 2025-2026 budget, we were promised timeliness, effectiveness, and responsiveness in student finances, especially HELB disbursement. Yet many of us experienced delays that disrupted our studies, our mental health, and our basic survival. So Honorable CS, I'm a very interesting person that you'd want to listen to. I have 3 minutes to poke 6 holes into the budget that is coming this year. So my first question is, Honorable CS, how does the 2026-2027 budget structurally correct the delays that we witnessed in the previous years? And what concrete timelines do students hold the Treasury accountable to? Last year's budget spoke about supporting education as a national priority. Yet many students still struggled with accommodation, meals, and even learning materials due to unpredictable funding flows. So my second hole is, in what ways does this new budget move beyond rhetoric to ensure that education is not just a mere investment and translates that education to actual and timely support for students on the ground? We also saw in the 2025-2026 budget that many needy students fell through cracks in HELB as a means of testing framework. And as a result, most of the most vulnerable learners were left without support. So my third question, Honorable CS, is, does the 2026-2027 budget allocate resources to reform or expand HELB's assessment model so that genuine hardships is better captured and addressed? Then, Honorable CS, in the last budget, universities often demanded for fees before HELB was even released. And this created a very strict tension between policy and practice. Such students were punished because of things that were beyond their control. So my fourth question is, how does the current budget that you're going to release in the course of the year encourage or compel better coordination between Treasury, HELB, and universities so that no student is locked out of learning while awaiting confirmed funds? Then lastly, we also cannot ignore the reality that there is inflation within the country. The cost of living has risen since the last budget, but students' allowances have largely been static. They have not moved. Many of us fund ourselves and are found to be debating between food and learning materials. So my last question is, how does the 2026-2027 budget include a mechanism to periodically adjust student finances in line with inflation rather than leaving us to bear the burden of rising costs alone? So those are my questions that I wanted to ask to you, Honorable CS, and I wouldn't want to take much time. However, I have some suggestion or a recommendation that I would put to the CS today. Looking back, the previous budget treated student loans majorly as liabilities rather than investments in national development. And I'm speaking this on behalf of the students who have already graduated. These students have graduated, but they are now dealing with the debts before they even set foot on the actual job market. So is there a mechanism to make sure that these students, after they have immediately graduated, they are not begun to be penalized on HELB? I mean, there is some time or some grace period that they're given before they actually begin repaying their debt, so that they stabilize and actually get moving on with their lives. So thank you so much for that. I would want to really appreciate the Cabinet Secretary for making it to Meru, and you're always welcome within our region. Asante.
Mpige makofi. Thank you, Bwana Ian. Next, I will introduce his partner, that is Mary Mukiri. Let's clap for Mary as she comes.
Good morning, everyone. All protocols observed. My name is Mary Mukiri, Deputy President, hapa Meru National Polytechnic. Honorable CS, my first question is on delay. What are the main reasons for the continued delay in help disbursement to TVET students, despite students applying on time? Number 2, on budget allocation, has the National Treasury allocated sufficient funds to help to cover all eligible students, especially those in TVET institutions? To elaborate your part here on that question of delayment of disbursement, CS, like here in Meru National Polytechnic, I think half of the school hawajakuwa registered kwa system kwa sababu ya school fees. Na hiyo pesa, unapaswa kulipa the assessment fee ni separate na the school fees. Those are two different things. The other thing is about increment of help. Zile pesa wanafunzi comrades wanapata ni kidogo sana. For example, unaona mwanafunzi ameinvoicewa fee ya 80,000. Assessment fee pia iko hapo. Unaona ile pesa inakuja, tuseme ni 80,000, 26,000 ya tuition fee. So utarudi bado kwa mzazi atafute 54,000. It's a challenge. And now hata wanafunzi wengi sasa tuko na shida hapa shule. Wana depression karibu kushika wanafunzi kwa sababu ya pesa. They are missing classes. Class attendance iko very low. Hakuna wanafunzi kwa class kwa sababu ya challenge ya school fees na hiyo delay ya help. We plead you kindly, tafadhali shughulikia comrades. Hata kukula imekuwa ni challenge hapa shule, hata huko nje. The other question is about on future prevention. What long-term solution is the Treasury implementing to ensure help disbursement delays do not recur in future academic years? Thank you.
Thank you. Asante. That caps the stakeholders from the students. We move to the next, that is the Boda Boda. I will welcome their chairman, Ngaku Nicholas. Tumpigie makofi akija Ngaku Nicholas.
Honorable CS, Madam DG, Chief Principal, MP, Raim, MCAs, and all the sectors represented. My name is Ngaku Nicholas. I'm the Secretary General of Boda Boda Sector, Meru County, and also in Mount Kenya East. So, to the CS, our first question about the Boda Boda, it's about the increased levy in the Boda Boda sector, in buying the Boda Boda and also in the spare parts. So my question is, how would you, as you allocate the budget, how would you consider the Boda Boda price of buying a bike and also the spare parts levy so that it can be lowered, so that it can help all the Boda Boda and also the people using the bike? Actually, for example, we carry students with the Boda Boda, and actually the price is so high, so we could like you look on that so that even all the community can gain on that. Another thing, there is accidents on the roads. Actually, we have been experiencing accidents within the country of the boda and maybe the matatu, and we lose life. So, to our CS, which measures will you take so that you can make sure that there is minimal accident, and also those who involve the accident, they will not go unrewarded or maybe struggle in their families. Another thing, it's the street lights. We have been experiencing a lot of cases, insecurity cases, and we request that you should, when you allocate your budget, you should increase more on the security light so that our roads can be safe. Thank you so much.
Asante Bwana Nicholas. Tumkaribishe pia the same sector, Joyce Kahile, Ladies Boda Riders Association. Tumpigie makofi.
All protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Honorable CS, Joyce Kadure, representing the Boda Ladies Riders Meru County. My first question is, in National Budget Allocation 2026-2027, what specific allocation has been made to support the Boda, especially the Ladies Riders nationwide? Number two, how does the National Treasury plan to ensure Boda riders benefit from youth and transport-related funds in 2026-2027 financial year? Is there a national budget provision for ladies riders training, road safety, affordable insurance and licensing? Na ningeomba hii iweze kumfikia CS wa education about providing education for riders. Na tukiwa ladies riders tunapitia challenges mingi, especially wakati tunabeba wanaume. Unapata mwanaume amekukamata na huko nyuma paka unashindwa kuendesha. Bearing in mind, this is one of bottom up, a business ambayo our president alikuwa anaongelelea. Tunapaswa kuangaliwa sana kwa sababu here in Meru County we have ladies who are boda riders. They are almost 300 and even we are not recognized. Kwa hivyo iweze kumfikia na tuweze kualokitiwa pesa ya civic education. The other question, how does the government tend to regulate the private sectors ambao utukopesha pikipiki? Because these private companies, they tend to escalate the prices. Thank you.
Thank you Joyce. The last stakeholder nitamkaribisha Bwana Wycliffe Mulwale to cut off on the representation of questions we have from the different stakeholders. Karibu.
Bwana CS, Deputy Governor na MP wangu mwenyewe na wasalimu nyote katika jina la Yesu Kristo. Bwana asifiwe. Na wakuu wengine pia tunawapenda nyote. Mimi swali langu kwa Bwana CS ni kwamba my name is Wycliffe Mulwale, Juakali, Meru Town. Swali langu kwa Bwana CS ni kwamba tungelipenda kujua sisi kama wanajuakali katika budget yako ya 2026 2027 umetupangia nini kama wanajua kali hasa Meru County? Kama tuko ndani ya hiyo budget yako, tungependa kujua leo ikiwezekana, kwa sababu pale town tumekaa kwa hiyo jua kali zaidi ya miaka 30 na hatujaona kiongozi yeyote ambaye amewahi kututembelea na kuja kutuuliza hata mungependa kusaidiwa namna gani, mungependa kuinuliwa namna gani. Kwa hivyo tungependa kujua kutoka kwako tunaweza kuinuliwa vipi ili jua kali liweze kuinuka. Sababu ya kuuliza hilo swali ni kwamba jua kali ya Meru Town ina play a very big role in this county. Role gani ina play? Tunahakikisha ya kwamba wakati wa watoto kurudi katika shule kama Januari hii, kila mtoto amepata bidhaa ambazo anapaswa kutumia kama sanduku, kama bucket kurudi shule. Na wazazi wa Meru County hawajaisumbuka kwenda miji zingine kama mji mkuu wa Mombasa town, Nairobi, Nakuru kwenda kununua hizo bidhaa. Tunasaidia, tunauzia mpaka tunauzia the neighboring counties. Lakini serikali yetu kuu haijawahi kututambua na hata serikali yetu ya county haijawahi kututambua. Kwa hivyo ningependa tutambuliwe kama wanajua kali wa Meru. Kwa bajeti yenu ya serikali tuwe na kwa bajeti ya county tuingizwe. Na zaidi ningependa kufanya ombi lingine pia kwamba pale tunapofanyia kazi pale Kakoromone hatuna sheds, tunafanyia tu viwanja ambavyo viko surrounding the market. Hatuna shade yoyote ambayo inaweza kutambulia hii ni shade ya wanajua kali. Kwa hivyo tunaomba shade. Wakati ile sewage itakapotolewa pale tunaomba shade, mheshimiwa Raimu wako hapa. Tunaomba ikiwezekana wanajua kali watengewe shade na ijengwe kama ile ya jua kali, kama ile ya Kikomba. Tuweze kuinvite hata watu kutoka katika kaunti zingine waje tufanye kazi hapa. Na tuweze pia kupewa kibali ya kufundisha vijana wale ambao wameshindwa na kwenda masomo mbele kazi ili jua kali sekta isife. Jambo lingine pia ningependa kuomba ni kwamba wakati waheshimiwa kama MCs wa kaunti hii wanapoenda nje kama China, hawajawahi kuja kwetu kutuuliza nyinyi wanajua kali. Tunapoenda kule nje kama China, mungeweza tuwaletee mitambo ya aina gani ya kuinua kazi ya jua kali. Hatujawahi kuuliza wale kama hilo. Kwa hivyo wanapoenda kule wao wanaenda kujivinjari na wakirudi wananyamaza na hakuna profit yote tunapata kutoka na hiyo ushuru ambao tunawalipa. Kwa hivyo tungependa waje kwetu ground, watuulize tuwatafutia mashini ya aina gani, tuwainue kiwango gani ili jua kali sekta ipate kuinuka. Kwa hivyo naona wakati wangu umeisha, ningesema mengi zaidi hapo lakini Bwana wabariki.
Asante Bwana Chairman. Finally, representation with disability. Tumpigie makofi Bwana Leonard Mwirigi akija. Karibu Bwana Leonard.
Asante MC. Bwana CS, Deputy Governor, Nairi MP, and all protocol observed. Good morning. My name is Leonard Mwirigi. I come from Imend Central and presenting in different areas. Now, Bwana Wasiri, persons with disability would like to know from the budget 2026-2027, what amount of allocation have you given to the persons living with the disability? Number two, we would also like to know what is the government doing to make sure that when these funds are sent to the National Council for persons with disability, if they are used properly up to the grassroots. Number three, we understand that in the last year budget, there was an allocation of medical cover for persons with disability. Now, Bwana Wasili, we would like also to know how is this medical cover used, or how can it be used to cater for persons with disability? Juu hatujawahi enda hospitali tuambie watu walemavu wamelipiwa. So we would also want to know from you how this fund is being used. The other thing is about the education of the children living with disability. We have so many children who live with different kind of conditions, which of course needs support from the government in terms of education. Because unaweza enda shule ukute kuna walemavu lakini hawana walimu ambao they are trained to mentor them or to teach them. So we would also want to know how the government is doing about that. Asante sana Bwana Wasili. And the last one is about registration of persons with disability. Of late, hatuwezi sema walemavu ni wangapi because they are not registered with the National Council. So we also want Bwana Wasili to take note on that to make sure that persons with disability are well registered with the relevant authorities. Asante sana.
Thank you so much. Let's all clap for these stakeholders for being very brief and direct to the point. At this point, I will now welcome the leadership of other representation of the that is DCC, Lucas Mwangi. Tumpigie makofi akija.
Thank you. Our chief guest, the CS, National Treasury and Economic Planning, and your team from Nairobi, the Department of Finance, our Deputy Governor, Madam Leader, Kiome, our area MP, Mheshimiwa Daud, na MP mwenzako ambaye ameondoka, the Deputy Speaker of Meru County Assembly, the host, the minority leader, and the host of MCAs around, our representative from various sectors of our economy, all protocols observed. Good morning. Good morning. I will be very brief for the interest of time. First, Waziri, kwanza pokea salamu kutoka kwa County Commissioner, Mr. Jacob Wauma, who is away on a very important meeting in Embu. Pili, nakukaribisha sana Meru, na I want to highly appreciate you for taking time to come to Meru and listen to the views of wananchi wa Meru. Without much ado, I want to, through your permission, introduce the GAO team. In this case, I will start with the chiefs present and assistant chiefs up. You can salute. Can sit. I also want to introduce the sub-county security team. I can see a few members with us here. You can stand up and wave. Stand up and wave. Mr. Mbaya is the Deputy County Commissioner in Meru East, the newly kid in the block. We also have Mr. Omondi, up and wave. Wave the Waziri and your colleague. At this juncture now, with Unity, I want to invite the security team from the county to come here. Museme majina tu, kujani hapa mbele. Timu ya county ya usalama, kuja hapa mbele. Introduce yourselves. Yes. Hapo ni sawa?
Jambo sa, I'm John Ngalia Mwakima, Senior Warden, KWS Meru County. Thank you, sir.
Jambo sa, I'm Kipkemwa Chelule, County AP Commander Meru. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. My name is Patrick Lobolia, County Police Commander, Meru County.
Morning, sir. I am John Betru, the County Police Commander. Thank you, sir.
Morning, sir. I'm Inspector Masika, representing the CCIO Meru County.
Yes, I also have an SEC, senior SEC in Japala. Introduce yourself very fast.
Morning, sir. My name is Michael Japala, HCC Kiamwitari. I work in Imenti, East Sub-County, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That is now the security team apparatus in the county. And I want to tell you that, CS, they are really doing a good job. We know, biashara zote pia zinataka mazingira matulivu ya usalama ili biashara isiweze kunawiri. Kwa hivyo wanafanya kazi nzuri. I can attest to that. Now, without much ado, I want to say one thing. Waziri, the idea of having such a forum for engagement with the citizens at the grassroots ni kitu ya maana sana. Tumeona wakati wa jukwaa la usalama, maoni vile wananchi walitoa na vile serikali ilienda kusikiza hiyo maoni na kutia maanani. Vile vile tunaona jukwaa la wasomi na vile vile jukwaa la kuna wasomi na usalama na pia sasa tuko na jukwaa la biashara. Kwa hivyo waziri, tunarudishia serikali shukrani kwa kuwa na vikao kama hivi, kwa sababu sinalete ubunifu, kwa sababu serikali inaweza kupata feedback one on one. Kwa hivyo tunaunga mkono kwa dhati na wananchi ambao wamehudhuria kikao ya leo. Asanteni sana. All the sectors, the Student Association, University Student Association, the tertiary, and all other sectors, disability, jua kali, Kenya National Chamber of Commerce, boda, tunashukuru sana. Na mtoe maoni yenu na maoni yenu, na wataka kuhakikishia waziri na timu yake wataichukua maanani. Kwa hivyo bila kupoteza muda, nataka nikaribishe Brian ili tuweze kukaribisha waziri pamoja.
Asante. Let's all be upstanding as we welcome the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury. Tusimame sote. Karibu bwana waziri. Tumpigie makofi akija. Shangwe na vigelegele. Karibu bwana waziri. Karibu.
Juu sana. Bendera yetu Kenya ipeperushwe juu sana. Trio mio. Sisi wa Kenya tunaweza. Na ipeperushwe juu sana. Ajeki.
Boda oye! Na wafanyabiashara, comrades power! Thank you very much. On behalf of the Governor, Meru County, Deputy Governor, Madam Lega, I hope I got your name correctly. My colleague, ametoka kidogo, Mheshimiwa Rahim Daud, who is my friend and we have been with him in Parliament for over 10 years. The national government, led by the DCC, principal of this college, who is actually our host today, members of the county assembly of Meru, the grassroots leaders, led by the majority leader, the majority whip, chair budget, chair finance, I hope the area MCA, plus my other friend, the Minister for Education, Damesta, my team from the National Treasury, I have representative here of the Director General of PPP. Good morning. Is it morning or afternoon? It's on the borderline. It's afternoon. I will request you to do the following. I'll give my official speech. Then, if you allow me, I'll give off-the-cuff remarks, briefly. Then, if there is any additional questions, because I will have addressed the questions that have come from your representatives here. But if there is any one or two other additional questions, we'll take that. Hoping to finish by 1, because I wanted to leave by 1. I have another meeting in Nairobi. So representatives from the University Students Association, esteemed student team members, members of the business community, members of Bunge la Wananchi, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon once again. It is a privilege to welcome you to this pivotal gathering, an occasion that embodies our collective commitment to shaping Kenya's future through transparent, inclusive, and responsible fiscal governance. This marks a deliberate effort by the National Treasury to expand its engagement with the citizenry, particularly the youth, civil society, and the local business community in the management of public resources. I wish to remind us all that this is not just a policy initiative, but rather a legal obligation anchored in Article 201A of the Constitution of Kenya, which mandates for public participation in all financial matters to enhance transparency, accountability, efficient utilization of resources, and value for money in the management of public resources. This process actually builds up from the inaugural meeting, which I held on 10th of December 2025 in Nairobi, where I actually launched the National Budget Student Fora with the sole purpose of embedding a youth-centric perspective into our national economic decision-making processes. And I'll explain why it is important to embody or embed youth-centric perspective in our budget-making process and in all economic decision-making processes. During that launch, we actually committed to engage the youth of this country in their respective regions on matters pertaining to financial management and generally in the public discourse. Further, to align with the recent privatization initiatives, it has been deemed necessary to broaden this engagement to also include the business community and Bunge la Wananchi for a more comprehensive stakeholder participation and transparency. We started with the youth because we were focusing on the budget, and this time we wanted the budget to be more youth-centric. But then because we also have, along the way, brought in the issues of privatization and divestiture from public assets, it became necessary to engage other stakeholders as well. And that is why we have invited members of the business community and even Bunge la Wananchi and other stakeholders like Boda Boda, Matatu, businesses, etc., so that the engagement is broader. Now, since the launch of this exercise, we have held engagement meetings in a number of places Kakamega for the Western Kenya region. We also had an engagement in Migori for the former Nyanza province. We held an engagement in Eldoret to cover, it was supposed to be covering the North Rift. And we were to have a meeting in Nakuru which did take place for the Central and South Rifts. And yesterday, we were in Kiambu to engage with the people from Central region. Today we are here for the wider Eastern region, and we still intend to be in Garissa for the Northern Kenya region, and finally in Kilifi for the Coast region. These engagements have provided us with an opportunity to highlight the trade-offs associated with allocating limited resources against the numerous competing needs. And even from the conversations we have had here, clearly you can see there are competing needs for our resources. And yet, those resources are limited, as I will demonstrate to you shortly. Therefore, we need to have a trade-off that aligns and attunes to our national priorities. Because the resources are limited, the needs are unlimited. So we must find a balance how to utilize the little resources that we have to align it to our national priorities. This indeed epitomizes the objective of this exercise, as citizens are better informed about policy choices amidst the constrained fiscal environment. Listening to you, I was wondering whether we communicated well. But since this is the beginning, it's important to start from somewhere. Because I had most of you asking me to tell them what is in it, what is in the budget 2026-27 for them. Yet that is what has brought me here. I have come to listen to you to tell me what you want to be in the 2026-2027 budget. And you are asking me what is in it for us, like it is already concluded, a fait accompli. I understand you perfectly well, because the history of budget making in this country has been one of secrecy, where the minister and his team, the technocrats who have been nicknamed the Mandarins, sit at the Treasury building, the CS at the 14th floor, and the rest of his team occupying those floors. We make figures, we create books, and then you are waiting for one specific day, the budget day, for body to appear with briefcase, held in hand. And you know, zamani hata ilikuwa mbaya zaidi, mheshimiwa. I remember, and I'm sure many of us do, where the budget day was such a sacred day. And it was a day where everyone was speculating. In fact, on the eve of the budget day, there were no sales. No one would even sell you sugar, salt, or whatever. No, because they are waiting for prices either to rise or come down. The moment the prices rose, immediately the traders increased prices. But whenever the prices went down, they were still clearing the stock. That used to be the budget day. Now, the budget day has changed. First, executive does not make the budget. Executive, through the minister, make what we call budget proposals. And we present the budget proposals 2 months to the end of financial year. By 30th of April, we present the budget to members of the National Assembly, people's representatives, who are the actual people who make the budget. So, right now, what we are doing proactively is to listen to the ground. We are listening to the ground, but this time, tunasikiza ground ya ukweli. So I came kusikiza ground. Ground inasema nini? Where do you want more allocation? And I've heard you. The cry here is number one, education is underfunded. Is that not correct? The summary of what you have aired here, Mheshimiwa, is that education is underfunded. The other one is that our special interest groups need better attention. Okay? So my friend, when I go back, I know I'll look at the budget and see how to take care of the special interest groups. It may not just be persons living with a disability. We know there are more disadvantaged, but there are other disadvantaged groups like the youth, like women. They also have a degree of marginalization. And the elderly, people forget the elderly. I was brought up in a family of the elderly. I was born, my father, I was born when my father was 71 years. 71 years. That's when I was born. And I lived with him until I was 35. The last born. 71 out of 35, that's 106. That's when I lost my father. And I lost my mother not long ago at the age of almost 90. So I know how the elderly can be marginalized and people don't even realize it. Actually, people we also need to attend to seriously are the aging people, because there's a lot that go around them, beginning with their bodies. Anyway, so I came to listen. And fortunately, your representatives were good in presenting the areas of concern. So let me reiterate that the youth represent over 75%. The reason why we are focusing on the youth, our population is over 75% younger than 35 years. So these are people who hold potential to drive our national economic development. If you want to develop this country, you must focus on this percentage, 75%. Our demographics is that skewed. Consequently, their voices must be central to how we plan and allocate resources. This necessitates a shift in public financial management towards inclusive and participatory governments where young citizens actively engage and participate in policy formulation and act as co-creators of our government policies that shape service delivery. We want the youth to be co-creators of our policies so that we don't make policy and give to them. They form 75% of our population. Therefore, we must work with them to create policies. That is when the policies will be aligned to their needs. You cannot be claiming to understand what the youth think if you are not a youth. I know we have passed there. By the way, sisi zote tumekuwa mayouth. It's only that we were youth at different time. In fact, siku hizi, when I look at my children who are youth, the way they behave and conduct themselves, the things they prefer, the things they amplify, during our time were unheard of. So we must get them involved. Is when we can understand them. So, over the very distant past, the youth of our nation have expressed themselves with clarity and courage regarding the following. One, cost of living, they have complained. Two, unemployment, it's a concern. Three, need for transparency in governance. 2024, the youth came out to express themselves. By the way, what the youth were telling us loud and clear is that they were first feeling the heat in terms of cost of living. Number two, that they are not employed. They are coming out of universities. They have exchanged their father's shamba. Their fathers have sold the farms and exchanged with papers which are not helping them. So they are complaining. They are also complaining that the people who are in power are not transparent, that we are not using or utilizing their resources effectively and efficiently, that they don't want corruption, both at the national and the county level. And I'm happy that I represent the national government here. My sister here represents the county government. We must work collectively, both at the national and the county level, to fight governance issues which compromise service delivery to our people. We must say no to misuse of public resources. And that is what the youth have spoken about. So we better hear them, not to condemn our youth. We must hear them, and we must acknowledge that these concerns are not only genuine and valid, but are urgent. Our goal is to move beyond listening as I was doing it there. We must now move and commit ourselves to turning the frustration that we see among our youth into meaningful and tangible progress. This forum, therefore, provides the perfect opportunity to provide our feedback on the necessary actions from the government to address these challenges. Kenya has adopted also, that's the next step I'm moving to, a privatization as a strategic economic policy shift to promote efficiency in the economy by subjecting public services to market forces. So I'll talk about privatization shortly, but let me just mention that this shift aims to improve competitiveness, boost our revenue generation, and support fiscal consolidation. A pathway that would help us in reducing government expenditure on inefficient state corporations and fostering market development through deepening Kenya's capital market. Kenya now is number 2 in Africa, according to the report of last year, in terms of our capital market development, just after Egypt. Our Nairobi Securities Exchange is number 2 in Africa. And we must continue to deepen it to take our rightful position in Africa, which is number 1. This engagement process, therefore, is timely in view of the intensified conversation regarding opportunities privatization offers in contributing to national development through revenue enhancement and containing public debt and easing pressure on our public expenditure. In fact, I'll come to condense the reason why we are going the privatization route, because that is key. Many Kenyans have not understood why we have decided to privatize KPC. And I must be specific on KPC because it is out there in the market. KPC belongs to you and I, belongs to Kenyan. It is your asset. You must understand why we are divesting 65% out of KPC and giving to the public and other players. So this will reduce government's administrative burden by leveraging the market expertise of the private sector. So the National Treasury will in this regard continue with sound macroeconomic policies to enhance resilience and create a conducive environment for private sector, including the local business communities. Let me reaffirm the government's recognition of the critical role the private sector plays, especially the local business communities, the role it plays in driving Kenya's economic growth through revenue contribution and job creation. Under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the government is implementing measures to create favorable conditions for the growth and sustainability of private enterprise. I can see Mheshimiwa Dehu, you're wondering, Mbadi is talking about bottom-up economic transformation agenda. You know, nowadays I speak it even better than you. Yeah. Broad-based. To enhance the outcomes, I hereby call for closer collaboration between the government and the private sector to unlock growth opportunities, especially in sectors with high youth employment potential like agriculture, MSMEs, housing, healthcare, and the digital and creative economy. These sectors are not only engines of growth, but also platforms of innovation, entrepreneurship, and job creation for the youth. This engagement provides a basis for this collaboration through sharing of ideas and proposal towards this objective. We will therefore endeavor to have a robust collaboration with all stakeholders, including the youth, the private sector, representatives, experts, civil society groups, volunteers, and local communities. So by forging these partnerships and collaboration, the government will harness ideas, skills, and resources of diverse stakeholders to better deliver policies in a more transformative way. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to state here that I was elected to receive a written memorandum outlining some practical measures through which we can enhance financial support for students in tertiary institutions. And I want to mention here all the representatives who have spoken. Kindly put what you have written, what you have said in writing, and submit them to us. And any other person who has ideas, we have a team here who will collect your views, and then we will sit down at the National Treasury to look at your views and your priority areas and accommodate them. We have listened to students just to get to know that our sitting here is not an academic exercise. I will tell you that listening to students when we began, Higher Education Loans Board, the HELB funding, in the last year's budget was first 41 billion reduced to 37 billion. Out of that, this financial year, we are proposing to enhance it to 58 billion, just by listening to students. But I want to tell you that I have heard you say that we are not disbursing Higher Education Loans Board. We may need to check where the problem is. Because the budget for 2025-2026, and we are in January, the year is ending in June. And this is the fact. The budget for 2025-2026 for Higher Education Loans Board was 36,419,870,000. National Treasury has disbursed or funded Kenya shillings 36,419,870,000, meaning we have funded it in full, 100%. So when I hear that there is delay, I'm wondering, what is this delay? And this was a request from the ministry. The ministry requested us to release the money in full, and we did that because we value the education of our children. Problem maybe is that it is not adequate, and we are working towards improving that. And I will explain to you that we have other competing needs, but we value education. The money that goes to university, is it University Funding Board? Yeah? The scholarship, the one that is modeled around mean testing. Yeah? The budget was 17,158,226,971. Up to date, we have funded 8,579,113,485 shillings. That leaves 8,579,113,485, meaning we have funded it 50%. So we are not that late in disbursement, but I may need now to discuss with the Higher Education Loans Board and find out where is the delay. What is the problem? Because the money has been released from the National Treasury. The students are saying we are delaying in releasing the money. So who is not doing the right things? So I wanted to clarify that before I forget. Now, so when we received all this, all the information that we received is helping us in informing the next budget and also the next budget and also the medium-term budget process. I'm about to conclude or finish with my written speech or official speech. So, furthermore, we are aware of the financial constraints or strains facing our public universities, which impact the quality of education and future prospects of our youth. Our strategy emphasizes increased funding in areas like infrastructure development and curriculum reforms to equip our students with skills relevant to the evolving job market, particularly in 3 critical areas. 1, artificial intelligence. 2, data science. And 3, green technologies and vocational trades. So those are areas that we are focusing on. So during this process, we welcome positive critique of our public financial management systems and policies to shape the budget process. So don't feel shy, say it as it is. No one will look at you like uko na madharau. We have come here to engage, all right? And please deliver your message in your own style. You can never be John Badi. You are just yourself, and you cannot be another person. So just deliver it the way you are. Don't fake it, yeah? Just speak to us. I may disagree with you, but you have the right to say what you are saying. So your active engagement in this process guarantees efficient and transparent use of public funds, ensuring that public resources achieve their intended objectives. I wish to urge for your concerted effort to enable us build a Kenya where opportunities are accessible to all, where youth are empowered to lead, and where our collective aspirations become reality. Together, we can forge a prosperous, inclusive, and resilient nation. That is where my official speech ends. Thank you. So now allow me to engage without being constrained with this official speech. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to appreciate where Kenya has been and where Kenya is today in terms of our economic capacity as a country. Let me tell you, in 2021, 2022, and Honorable Dawi is aware, IMF had predicted that 6 countries in Africa were going to default in paying their debts. You know, from 2014, we have had accelerated uptake of debt in our country. Well, for some good reason, because we decided to expand our infrastructure, to be able to have an infrastructure foundation that would help the economy to leap to the next level. However, most of the infrastructure projects that we invested in are either long-term, some have a payback period of about 20, 30 years. Some were also not well thought out, like the SGR hanging somewhere with low economic value. If probably we extended SGR beyond Naivasha to the border with Uganda, it would have brought more economic gains to the country than where now it is hanging. So our debt level had reached that as unsustainable level. And we were predicted that we would default. And countries have defaulted. Today, as I was coming, I was reading Business Daily, how Ethiopia is struggling as we speak to get out of that trap. In fact, now they are being dictated to. As an economy, there are 2 countries, China and France, are cheering to get Ethiopia out of that mess. By the way, Kenyans, many of us don't know what defaulting means. When you default in repaying your debts, it is a serious thing. And the first thing that would happen would be IMF would be in town. And this time round, they will not be coming like they always come to discuss with us. No. They will be coming to give us orders and ultimatums. They will come and tell you, see, you are already in shit. Mmejiingiza kwa matope. For us to help you come out of this matope, there are conditions. You will reduce your civil service by, say, 50%. You will reduce the salaries of all staff by 50%. You will reduce all elected leaders by 50%. MCAs, 1,450 wards must come to 700 and something. MPs from 290, 145. I'm giving you examples of what they would demand. These your counties are too many. 47, too many. You must merge them. Tharaka Nithi must merge with Meru and many other things. Those are examples of what could happen if we defaulted. And by the way, we were about to default. Why were we about to default? Because the previous administration did not see sense in organizing post-election period because they were going out anyway. So they didn't care. There is a bond, Eurobond, that is coming for payment in June 2024, and they did not, there was no plan. And it is $2 billion US, which is equivalent 260 billion Kenya shillings. No one cared. The administration that came into office also had problems. They were looking at the debt coming up for payment, but they have no solution. They have to pay salary. Counties are calling for money. Otherwise, they would shut down. Capitation in schools is needed. Health must be taken care of. So everybody was in panic, but we didn't know what to do. Around that time, you'll remember, if you went to the bank to get dollars, you could not get the dollars that you wanted. If you went to buy dollars. If you had your son or daughter or your brother schooling out of the country, in the US, Australia or whatever, and you wanted to pay fees, you could not get the dollars you wanted. It was a sorry state of affairs. Fortunately for Kenya, the market opened and they managed that liability. And that is why last year we decided never to be careless again. Another Eurobond was coming up for payment in 2027 May. We decided to pay it last year by February. Another one is coming up for payment in 2028. We had a choice to be careless again and say that is after election anyway. We'll have won our second term. But whether we are going to win the second term or not, it is important to prepare and live an economy that is functioning. Because even if you leave office, I leave office today, I will still live in this country. And an economy which has failed, no one is safe. Even if you have wealth, that wealth will sublime and will never be there in a short while. Even if you have property, who will live in your houses? Who will pay you rent in a failed economy? Where salaries have been reduced by half, where people have been retrenched. So we must know that this is our economy regardless of positions that we hold. I know second term tutapata. I have no doubt about it. Two term is real. I have no doubt about that. It is real. Tutapata hiyo. Tutapata. Hiyo tutapata. But this is not the time for that. What we have today is to prepare ourselves as a country for posterity. That is why we decided by September to liability manage the debt that is coming in 2028. Therefore, as we speak today, we don't have debt pressures up to 2031. That is why the other day on Thursday, you saw Moody's, which is one of the globally reputed firms, upgraded Kenya from CAA1 to B3 and said now in the short term we don't have debt risk as a country. We are no longer in that debt risk assessed by other people. All right? Simply means that now we are a country that people can do business with. And they have said now we have a stable economic outlook. We were at negative, then we moved to positive. Now we are stable. Hata kama wengine wanasema this government is doing nothing. Even let's assume we are doing nothing. But getting the economy from near collapse to stable, is that not something? Now it can be built on. Hata kama si mimi. Dawood will build on it. Tomorrow you will be the CS National Treasury. You can now take over from me and build on it. Now, you people, that is where we were. And the inflation in this country was hitting double digits. The reserves were not there. Foreign exchange, shillings was trading at 160 to the dollar. Today, where is it? 130. The most stable currency probably in the world is Kenya shilling today. People have tried to question, but we are telling them, why do you question? And the evidence is there. We have built reserves, 5.3 months of import cover, and we need only 4 months of import cover. We are 5.3. There is stability. Everybody is seeing it. Those who are assessing us, who had already downgraded us, are saying we are picked up. Is that not something? So, you see, because of those challenges, we had an economy that was struggling. Yet you have needs. Let me give you another example. If you want to know that things have not been easy in this country. My friend, we are collecting, last financial year, we collected 2.4 billion. Let's call it 2.5 because it was close to 2.5. Trillion. Trillion, not billion. Trillion, 2.5. Out of that, 1.1 trillion is going to debt service cost. We are servicing our debts with 1.1 trillion. That leaves you with only 1.4 trillion max. And our salaries today, the salaries of national government staff that we all earn, those of us who are working in public service, we spend 80 billion per month. That is 960 billion per year. From 1.4, you are remaining with only 400 and something, about 440. The counties, my sister here, they are shouting at us. We are underfunding them. Yet we gave them 415 billion. It looks a lot, but ni kidogo ukiangalia mahitaji ya counties. And by the way, I am a strong supporter of devolution. And I know we should fund counties much more. 415 is not enough. But for the sake of this discussion, imagine the 440 that Mbadi remained with, nimepeana 415 to counties. Sasa imebaki ngapi? 25 billion. 25. That is what goes to development. That is what goes to when DCC want to put fuel in his car. 25, the whole country. Yeah, just it. So, and that is the money we need to give you for capitation in schools. That's the money that we should give for help. So for us to develop this country, we go out there to borrow money. So we have only two choices. To tax you more or borrow more. Those two choices are closed. Borrowing more is not an option now because every country is inward looking. America is America first. Europe is looking for how to survive. America has left them. Russia and the EU is threatening the existence of Europe. Will they think about their security or to give you money for medication and for capitation in schools? There is no money out there. America does not have it. Even China does not have free money. If they have to give it to you as a cost. Europe does not have free money anymore. So there is no money to borrow out there. If you go for borrowing Eurobond, the prices are there. The interest rates are high. Taxes, you have been taxed mpaka hapa. Kenyans don't want to hear of taxes anymore. Ama namna gani? So what options are left? Nyinyi mnasema, mziuze our assets. How will we develop our roads? How do we do that JKIA? Kenya is one of the worst airports in the region, and we are the leading economy. We are the biggest, largest economy East and Central Africa. A tiny economy like Rwanda has developed their airport. We are almost losing our logistics hub status. The UN, which gave us the logistics hub status, will take it away with consequences because we cannot develop JKIA. My friend, that airport must be developed. It must be modernized. We must look for money. Hii maneno ya kuweka KPC kama souvenir, tuachane naye. KPC is not souvenir. It is our set. Once it has matured, remember in 2009, Kibaki government, the cabinet of Kibaki had approved that we should privatize KPC. Siasa ndogo ndogo ikachezwa tukawachana na hiyo. Maybe it was waiting for Mbadi to come. We privatized KPC. You people are complaining. Is this the first time we are privatizing assets in this country? Kenya Re was privatized. Kenya Commercial Bank used to be owned by government 100%. Kibaki government privatized it. Safaricom, we used to own it 100%. Moi released 60%, 40%. Sorry. Kibaki government released 25%. That is 65. That is why today we have 35. When we want to release 15%, noise. Why? Is it because it's Mbadi who is in office and not Kimunya? When Kimunya released 25%, why didn't you make noise? Uhuru did not release any. That is why we have these debts today. KenGen, we released some of the shares. KenGen is now performing better. Safaricom is now doing much better than when the government held 100%. It's now the leading, the most profitable company in Africa, or in the region, in our region, East and Central Africa. Safaricom. If we held more shares as a government, it would still be struggling there with government bureaucracies. The profit that now, the dividend that we are getting from Safaricom today is many times more than what we used to get when it was 100% owned by government, and we are owning 35. When we release 15, 20% may even give us more, because these investors will bring in more capital into it and expand it even in other countries. So, my friends, hii kitu mnaambiwa ati wanauza. First of all, government is not in business or doing business. The government should provide a platform for private sector to thrive in doing business. I keep on telling you that government already owns 30% of your business. Hata ile kiosko yako hiyo kiosk una own. We have 30%. And you pay us first before even you pay your staff. Ile pesa unapeana serikali, before you pay yourself unapeana serikali tax, whether you like it or not. So we don't need to struggle with you over dividend. Chukua dividend ukae naye. Mimi, give me tax. We run the government. So now what we are doing with Kenya Pipeline is that we are offering 65% of it for privatization. We are retaining 35. The 65% that we are releasing, 5% of that 65 will be to staff of Kenya Pipeline. 15% will go to oil marketers, both local and external, because oil marketers are the biggest stakeholders in KPC. We want them to have a stake. 20% will go to institutional investors, Kenya. That is pension funds like NSSF or PSSF. We have mutual trust funds. We have insurance companies, those who want to buy but are corporate. Then we have 20% for you and I, the ordinary people, to invest. Then we have 20% for our brothers and sisters in the East African region. We are targeting more particularly Uganda because they are interested in investing here. Uganda provides revenue to KPC of 32%. 32% of KPC revenue comes from Uganda market. That is not a market you can ignore. So we are offering them about 20%. Let them have a stake here. Let them have their representative in the board so that they can have more confidence and continue doing business with us. They shouldn't look south to Tanzania. Should look east, right? We are giving them 7% of their petroleum products we are transporting to Uganda. 3% comes from Dar es Salaam. We want 100% even. And then now 20% will go to other investors globally. But the bulk of this is still going to be owned by Kenyans. When we get the money, and we get money from Safaricom, we are projecting to raise 106 billion. And if you see how Ugandans are excited, actually they were very angry that we only allocated 20% to East Africa. And Kenyans are still hesitant. Ugandans are very excited. I was there up to yesterday. I came from Uganda yesterday. They're very excited. They are pushing us, we should increase that percentage. But we told them we have our capital markets authorities, rules and regulations, which cannot allow that. And the national interest. So, if we get this 106 billion, and we are getting 244 billion from Safaricom, that is 350 billion. We will put this money in the National Infrastructure Fund. We are not going to use it to pay salaries. We are putting it in a fund that is going to develop commercially viable national or public infrastructure projects. Let me move to conclude. So what happens? What happens is that we will not tax you more. What happens is that we don't want to take excessive loans in going forward. But we will not tax you more. In fact, we are thinking now of reducing taxes. So let me announce this here, that we have agreed with His Excellency the President that low-income earners in this country should be given a reprieve. We have agreed with His Excellency the President. He has directed me to take to Parliament a proposal. I'm not even waiting for finance bill to come in June. I am taking tax laws amendment bill to Parliament. Once Parliament resumes, we are preparing that bill, take to them to approve so that any Kenyan, and by the way, how many Kenyans are salaried? About 3,065,165 Kenyans. Out of these 3 million, 1.5 million Kenyans are earning 30,000 shillings and below. 30,000. 30, like this. Mheshimiwa, just look at your salary and mine. And imagine that someone who is earning 30 and myself, that government is coming for our money, both of us. So we have said government should come for my money and leave the person who is earning 30,000 alone. So any Kenyan, if this law, and I'm sure, I don't think there is any mad MPs in Parliament who will oppose that. Anyone who is earning 30,000 and below in Kenya should not pay as you earn. You pay zero. And then there is the next bracket. We are reducing the tax rate for those who are earning between 30,000 and 50,000. We are reducing the tax rate because already if you are earning from 33,000, you pay 30%. 33,000 going up, you pay 30%. We are reducing that also, that bracket between 30,000 and 50,000. So you only pay 25%. We reduce that by 5%. So those who are earning 50,000, first you will benefit because your first 30,000, you pay zero. Then the next 20,000, you pay 25%. We are trying to put some money in your pocket. Because you are complaining. Are you not complaining that you don't have money to buy things? That demand is shrinking. So, and many Kenyans, by the way, that's another 244,000 Kenyans. So we are trying to give a reprieve to 1.7 million Kenyans. And now, we look for other Kenyans out there who have not been paying taxes to also pay tax. If you know you are making 100,000, just because you are not on payroll, you want to always run away with 100,000. Yet, you are also using the roads like that salaried person. Are you not being unfair? So, the other people, and we will come to you, softness. Taxation is not military. So Kenya Revenue Authority will just use the system. Wakikuona uko mahali na hutaki kulipa tax, they will tell you, we have seen you. We may not go back, but start paying tax. Many of us here own apartments, and you don't even pay rental income tax, which is 7.5%. Please start paying. Utapatikana hivi karibuni. Now we are integrating the system. Hiyo records yako iko lands. Na kama iko lands, unalipa stima. Unless you stop paying electricity, we will get you. Na hata kama ulipi stima, unalipa maji. Na kama unalipa stima, si unalipa stima kwa nyumba, either unaishi ama rental. Kama unaishi kwa nyumba, hakuna mtu atakusumbua. Lakini kama ni rental, peana 7.5%. It's not even a lot. You are earning 100,000 from an apartment. We are only coming for 7,500. That is a tax. Give us that money. Imagine, you people should be paying us between 82 billion and 100 billion, and we are receiving only 17 billion. The rest of the burden, you leave to a teacher who is earning 30,000 to carry that burden for you. Now, wewe unapata rental income hapa, yale, ingine, in a month, you are getting 300,000. Unakula yote. Na mwalimu ana earn 35,000, payslip ikirudi ni 12,000. It is not fair. So we are telling these people who are earning 30,000, nyinyi tunawaondoa. Wacha wale wanapata pesa mingi kama Mbadi, tulipe hiyo ushuru. If anything, hiyo salary napata sini yenu. Even if you don't pay tax direct, as pay as you earn, si utanunua sukari, bado utalipa tax, na hiyo ndiyo pesa inalipa Mbadi mishahara. So wacha Mbadi arudishe kono. I should be taxed properly. Hiyo mshahara yangu karibu 1,900 na kitu ikatwe properly. 200, 300 iende kwa serikali. Si ndio? To educate people, capitation. To educate, tupeana kwa help. So we are going for, actually let me conclude. By the way, the principles of taxation dictate that you should tax wealth. Number 2, kama pesa haijatosha, then tax income. But never tax trade. So we are trying to avoid taxing trade and reducing taxation on income, but tax wealth. Mshahara inafika mahali mheshimiwa, sasa inakuwa, it beats income, it becomes wealth. Sasa kama una earn mshahara ya 5,000,000, honest, hiyo ni income. Hiyo ni return on employment kweli. Na uko tu na kichwa moja kama watu wengine. Hata kama ni stress, I know there is too much stress. But hiyo sasa ni wealth. So we are coming for just taxing wealth. Just tax wealth. Those who can afford, they are to tax. That is what most countries do. I think I've talked a lot. Have I spoken to anyone in the room? So those of you who are saying, hii serikali ya Ruto imeweka ushuru juu, you should understand where this government found the economy. It was terrible. But we have agreed with the president that now that things are getting better, let's give it back to the public. Let's give back to those who are earning low income. Let's reduce taxes on the people. So this is the beginning. If we see our economy is even doing better, we will even go for VAT. Why not? See, we told you we will reduce salaries, we reduce VAT, we reduce corporation tax, corporate tax. We will go for that. But let's start with this low income earners. We remove the tax. By the way, if you check someone who is earning 50,000, that, if you calculate that tax and about 2,000 more, if you go to the bank and you find you have earned 2,000 and more, so, to someone who is earning $1 million like me, that is nothing, isn't it? But to a person who is earning 50,000, it is a lot. Ama namna gani? So that is what we are doing. I don't know whether I've addressed, let me address some of the questions that you asked me quickly. Then I think, Mheshimiwa, on the issue of the dwelling of the road, I'm following it up, why it has taken inordinately too long. We are intentional. DG, I've answered you. We are intentional in reducing taxpayers' burden. Very intentional. I think I've addressed health issues and addressing student finances to reflect on inflation. I've just told you that we are likely to put more budgets under higher education loans board and even on the scholarship. Delay in funding, I've addressed that, including TVETs. Increased levy on spare parts. This we may need. Please put forward this proposal that you are asking us to reduce levy on spare parts for motorcycles. Lakini tukireduce, najua mtanunua motorcycles. Tafadhali, you also behave well. Wacha kutumaliza bwana. Motorcycle riders, I don't know, many of you are not even going for training. Mnabeba watu, mnatuangusha. People, the money that we spend in our health facilities to treat people who are involved in the accident is too much. So talk to your members, but the government, I agree, must come in strong to bring order in our public sector space, transport space. And give civic education, I agree. What plan? I think, Wycliffe, you asked me plans. I've told you, it is you to suggest what you want to be done for you. Then we look at our budget. Leonard, we will follow up how the funds channeled through council is utilized. And I know there was a proposal to have a location for medical to persons living with a disability. I'll check if there's a specific line with SHA on this. And of course, education. I think that's it. Registration of PWDs. I have noted. In summary, I sat here and I took notes. I did not even trust my people. I was writing myself because what I write with my hand, with my pen, it's easy for me to understand what was actually said as opposed to what other people write for me. So I want to stop it there and request you that we take maybe 3 questions, 3 burning questions. Hey. But when I give you, it's 1 question and it is 30 seconds. Now, umalize. Don't build a story. I am sharp enough to understand you quickly. I'll start with the lady at the far end. Wangapi wanataka kuongea hapa? Now, my friend, you are intimidating me. Give it to him after that. Because you are standing, the rest are sitting. I'll give MCS after 2 or so. Wacha niende nyuma. You know, if you laugh with me, I'll give you chance. Now, your teeth is wide open. Your mouth is wide open. Wewe, umeshinda huyu. So the guy who has laughed with me, no, the gentleman. I've given the lady, then you, then him. Yes, go ahead.
All protocol observed, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Barbara Simiu, a student at Meru University.
Kindly pull your, put microphone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My name is Barbara, a student at Meru University. So I'll start by appreciating Honorable Mbadi for the good work he's doing for the public participation as enriched in the Constitution of Kenya 2010 and the committee at large. So my question is, for a youth who has a company, how can he or she access the government tenders, given that out here we are being told that only people in government can access shares? Thank you.
Did I get the question? Although you people are clapping, can you repeat the question? Am I the one who is slow?
Okay.
Because everybody is clapping and I didn't get it well.
Okay, my question is, for a youth who has a company, how can he or she access government tenders, given that out we are being told that only people in the government can access government shares? Tenders.
Government tenders. Those who?
For youths who have companies.
Yes.
How easily can they access government tenders?
Yes.
Comrades Tibim. Comrades Tibim. Comrades Ria. Comrades Zaga Zaga. Thank you, FCPA, CS, Honorable John Mbadi Ngongo. I stand here on the clarion call that Jesus Christ said, give Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So first, I want to appreciate you, Bwana Waziri, for the good lessons that you have told us. One, I want to retaliate and emphasize that us as the youths, we want the privatization of the KPC and the Safaricom to be done, because we want more finances for our future generation, and even your grandchildren will want this finance to be channeled into development. And secondly, Bwana Waziri, you know, as you said, the budget used to be as sacred as the Ark of the Covenant, but now you are engaging us, and we want to thank you for that. Lastly, Bwana Waziri, before I sit down, I have comrades here that I worked with who are not on the list. Comrade Mko, about 50, Bwana Waziri, ukitupanga hapo comrade waziri asikuje, comrade alale njaa, tutakuwa tuko na shukrani. The call inasema vizuri, tulia kidogo, mgeni akikuja mwenyeji apone. So thank you so much, Waziri. And lastly, my question. Waziri, lastly, these comrades here, we have what we call Vijana Economic Front, which is for comrades in these institutions that are here. We normally do car wash. We wash cars for the MPs here and our lecturers. Would wish to get your support. We have a proposal with our secretary there so that we can buy 2 or 3 machines that can help these comrades wasake tonge. Comrades power! Comrades ria! Alafu Bwana Waziri usitishwe. Sisi kama comrades wa Meru tuko nyuma yako, na nikikuangalia hivi hapo 2032 kuna venye nitakuangalia na macho mzuri. Waziri 2 term. Thank you so much and God bless you.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, Bwana Waziri, I'm Wesley, a former student here at the Meru National Polytechnic. Mine is so simple, it's a question about the public debt. So I'm not convinced and have not understood well why we still need loans like the one you got from the bank from China the other day. I still do not understand why you still need to get loans, and yet you have explained so well why you have privatized the companies, and Kenyans like us who make very less are willing to live within our means so that we can satisfy the other loans before from the other regime. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I gave 3 chances. Maybe I'll try if I can get another 3. And that will be it. So just sit down. I've seen you. access to government tenders. I know there's a legal framework in place reserving 30% for AGPO, these special interest groups, women, youth, the PWDs, and now we have added the elderly as the marginalized. But a lot of times, what happens practically is the people who win these tenders, PWDs, youth, women, are not the people in those categories. You find one person has registered a farm, I have PW, and they tell people like me, they tell me, you know, help us. I have all the farms. If you want PWD, I have it. I have the one for the youth, one for the women. Our system has been compromised. So, two things. We are tightening the rules to make sure that only people who are in those categories register the farms. But e-procurement is another way. I know many people don't like this system. But the moment this system will pick up, you will find that it helps us in dealing with this interference. Because human beings being what we are, even if we try to tell you we will do this, we'll do this, you find so many of us don't want functioning systems because we get compromised by the people who are doing those things. So the best way is to remove or reduce to the minimum human interaction with the procurement system. The moment you reduce human interaction with the with the procurement system, then you make it more efficient and you make it more accountable. That's why I've been pushing this e-procurement. This first year, it has struggled. But I am sure when we get to 2026-27, now it will pick up without excuses. By the way, many institutions are now using e-procurement perfectly well. The noise has gone down. In fact, some people wanted to blow it out of proportion. That, you know, we are not even absorbing development expenditure because of the system is frustrating us. You go and check our absorption of development expenditure part of the budget. The first half of the year, we only failed to absorb 33 billion. What we were supposed to absorb, which is one of the highest since. Because all the time, development expenditure is absorbed, it's not absorbed 100%. So where is this lie that e-procurement is stalling procurement? It is in the minds of people who want to still continue with a system that is compromised. That is the truth. I know we gave some exemptions. Next financial year, I will not give those exemptions. Everybody must roll into e-procurement. So that we help people who don't know who knows who in government. You must know who knows who. Muache kusumbua mheshimiwa hapa ati unataka tender. You go to the internet and you apply for tender, you get it, you can see whether you are losing or you are getting. Wacha kusumbua DG here ati unataka county tender. Wacha kunisumbua, wacha nifanye kazi yangu national treasury. Do the tender, use the system, use the tender. If you are losing, you are seeing. If you are not, if you are winning and someone is trying to mess up with you, you can shout because you can see it. I think my friend the two gentlemen refused with their names. It's only Baba who said her name. But it's okay. I think my friend, you largely spoke in support of privatization and you ended up by saying that we should reduce borrowing. I agree with you. And that was followed by your other colleague who asked, why are we still taking loans? You know, loans, countries will continue to take loans, but we must take it in line with our capacity as an economy. We have been taking loans that we can't pay, and loans that are too expensive, and loans that are long-term, which are short-term to pay, and putting in projects that are long-term. Sometimes, And a lot of times we take loans for general budgetary support. You cannot even follow through to see where the loan was used because it is for general budgetary support. So with this privatization, we will now have space to reduce the loan uptake. We will start by cutting down on loans to a point maybe in future we may not need to take loans at all. But what we need to do is to start reducing our budget deficit. So we'll take out the infrastructure projects that are being funded currently in the budget. We take them out and fund them through this fund. That will reduce the pressure. The money that is released, we will reduce the loans and also channel some to social services like education, like health, which are underfunded today, and others like cash transfers or support to the vulnerable of the society. I think now you'll allow me to just give maybe 2 more. Waheshimiwa, how many of you want to? Can we take 2 to represent you, the MCA, the area MCA? Then you can converse there, one of you to speak. But hakuna mzee ameongea leo hapa. We cannot marginalize wazee. And I've seen a mzee ameweka mkono juu. Mimi nitampea mzee. Mimi niliishi na mzee, ninawaogopa wazee, ninawarespect. Mzee, wewe ndiye utaongea kwa niaba ya hao watu wote.
Okay, asante sana. CS Mbadi, Minister for Finance, Mheshimiwa Raim, all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex Manyara from Central Eventi. I was sent by Mheshimiwa to represent him because he was far. I have just a few things to mention. Mine is to start by saying, today, Meru is so lucky to have you. We are embraced. We are born again. And we are sure what has transpired today will become a reality, and we are running behind the 2-term in the Imenti Centro. Imenti Centro, that is the song every day. The people of Centro Imenti sent me with only one word. They look like a person is standing, the way Mheshimiwa Mbadi is standing. Their roads cut from one side to the other. They have only 2. That is the Mati Road and the other road which cuts on the western side. We don't have any road that cuts from the head towards the legs. So the people from west have a lot of problems getting to the east, especially when it is rainy time. We have only started one which has covered 1.6 kilometers, and that is why the song 2-term is all over. In case the other proposed 4 roads are taken care of, that is from Mugitole, through Mojwa, through Kaongo, through Medongo, and then from Kiamori down to the Vice President is taken care of, and the road from Mariene through Equator, joining with Mheshimiwa Raim, is completed, and the one from Kedirone through Kariene, going through Gaito, if the 4 are completed, Abodogochi will be served well. Lastly, there is the Mariene University. Mariene University was awarded 500 million by the president. Sometimes back, we are still waiting so that the university can be completed. Mheshimiwa do something for that one. We have no hospitals. Hospitals in the area, we don't have anything of any level. We are asking that Kidongo becomes level 5 hospital. We have Kaongo level 4, Nderu level 4, and if those ones are given to us, we shall be happy. Those
Thank
are
you.
the few I can ask you for. Thank you.
Thank you, Mzee. I think you have represented very well Central Elementi Central. What I'll do, I'll have a conversation with the MP to get the names of all the roads. You know, you mentioned them. I was struggling to catch the names, but that I will discuss with the Mheshimiwa. Can we now listen to the two MCS?
Thank you, Wasili. My name is Caleb, MCA Municipality. Mine is simple. We are working towards a Meru city. And my question was, what are you doing from your hand, maybe to help the county government towards the dream of achieving the Meru city? Because we know the equitable share that you said it was from 405.1 to 415, that is across the counties. But from your hand, is there anything that the government is doing so that now when we come to the people, we'll be able to mention it better as a government? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Waziri. My name is Jim Muchui, MCA for our own Kodadwana, Majority Whip County Assembly of Meru. And Waziri, we have agreed. I do 30 seconds, I give him 30 seconds. He has something burning. My issue is on the issue of...
I've given you 1 minute and him 1 minute.
Thank you,
I'm
Waziri.
that generous.
Thank you. So, Waziri, my issue and my recommendation is on the issue of TVETs. You understand that we have TVETs in almost every consistency in this country. And previously we used to have 30,000 capitation from government and also 40,000 from help. And the students used to join TVETs, they would pay only 2,000 shillings. Right now, Waziri, the students are paying 13 or other institutions 15,000, those who are joining, and those who are continuing are paying some tuition of 5,000. The Karumo TTI is in my ward, which has been based in the country for the last 4 years, consistently. And we have around 7,000 students there. We normally record 2,000 in the intake, in the initial intake. But right now we have recorded around 100. So what I'm saying, Waziri, in this budget, let's go back to where we were and try to see how we sort out that issue. Because if they continue paying, then these institutions will collapse. And the people have invested heavily around those institutions, and there will be no students there.
Thank you.
Number two, Waziri, you said on help. Again, beyond, I know you have said many things about help. Beyond the issue of delay, there's a problem. This week I was following something from, for a student in my ward. And the students are allocated money in the system. And the help says they don't have money. And when I followed, they told me unless they get a supplementary budget, that is when that money can be dispersed. So when the money is allocated in the system and the parent knows that the student has been allocated money, wazazi wanajipanga vingine wakijua pesa itakuja. And then that money disappears. It also brings a lot of problems. Finally, Waziri, in this budget, let us concentrate on finishing the incomplete or the stored project. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Waziri and members present. My name is Makasi. I'm the chair budget and appropriation. So I needed to speak out on Mbandi about Kazi Maju. Kazi Maju mostly that encompasses those who qualify with the technical skills. So I want you to incorporate in the budget money for this, because when I reach out to the agents, they want us to pay like 240,000 when there are jobs. These students can be able to raise money to get passports, but they cannot raise money for the agents. So I want you to consider in your budget, please appropriate money in the budget to help them to get the air freight tickets and to pay the agents. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we'll agree that we can end it there, because we have overstretched it. Na tujakula. So I think we need to end it somewhere. I think the reason why TVETs are now struggling is because of the expansion. The TVETs were not as many as they are now, and we are still expanding, which is a good thing. So what we may need to do is to look at our priorities and see how to allocate more resources for TVETs. again, bear in mind that we have limited resources. Unless you want us to take more, which I don't want to agree with. So we will add money to support TVET education, but it may still leave us with a gap. So we need to check how to reprioritize. But I've taken note that that is a valid concern, that we need to allocate more resources to TVETs. And I can't agree with you more. We need to complete the incomplete projects before now we start new ones. Kazi Maju, yes, there is intention to allocate some money. Actually, I think we may allocate some money, even in the supplementary budget, to support that initiative. We have already had a conversation with Mutua, the CS, and I promised him that we would put some allocation in the supplementary budget. And going into the main budget, I'm sure we will put more resources to support those who are getting opportunities and is being hampered. And you know, these ones are better, because if we don't do this, then we are creating opportunities for those other people with bad intentions who are taking our children to Russia in the name of helping them. It's a very sad thing. I'm sure you people have been following these stories. It's not something to be happy about when Kenyans are being taken, being misled to go to funny places to fight a war they don't know, whose origin they don't even know, the name of looking for greener pastures. So if we can give more capacity to government for this formal, this structured way of getting Kenyans to get employment, the better. So I agree with you on that. Si ni kama nimejibu kila Yes. Yes.
For the interest of time, my name is Elias Muraga Julius. I'm the CEC in charge of youths and sport. And I'll go straight to the point because my boss, I believe, had spoken much. Mimi ndio tulikuwa napanga hii kazi na Osborne Yogo is my friend. To the point, can you confirm, Waziri, about Kinoru Stadium? Kwa sababu Kinoru Stadium, as the people who are in sport, hiyo uwanja saa hii ni dry. Na there are a lot of things that have been said before, and it is now under Sport Kenya na bado haijafika kiwango as per the MOU we had with the county government. Number two, there is the narrative imekuwa ikiendelea na wengi wameona kwa social media. Can you confirm why is it very hard about the bursary being brought together watoto wasome for free? Kama it is possible, ama ni nini na kuangwa shida? And finally, the cost of implementation ya project inakuangwa very high. What I mean is a project ya 1 million, for example, in either national ama county, lazima iwekwe 16%, tukiweka profit margin ya 20%, administrative ya 5%, ile inafikia mwananchi inakuwa ni kitu kidogo na wanaona ni kama serikali inawaiba. How can you reduce the cost of implementation through a policy framework? Asanteni sana, and may God bless you.
Kinoru Stadium, I think this is something I can pick up and find out whether there are plans. I know there are plans to upgrade most of our stadium in the country. And you know, again, the sports fund has been misused over the years. Misused completely. People were doing funny things, sports academy, na ni fence tu ndio imewekwa na some funny shade, and 50 million is gone. So it is something that I know first we are spending some money. Sometimes we use KDF now to do some stadium. We are doing one in Kakamega. I know there's one in Siaya. So and there's one, is it Machakos or Kitui? Either of the two. So I'll pick up this. We see Kinoru Stadium, I think, needs serious upgrade. It's a stadium that has historical names. We have heard about it for years. So that is taken. Cost of implementation of projects is very high. True. By the way, let me tell you one reason why, and it's not because I was MP. I don't see myself being MP again, but this world you can't rule out anything. I may not run again for member of parliament. So whatever I say out of experience. The reason why National Government Constituency Development Fund is succeeding is because the cost of implementation is low. The cost of management is very low. Just go and look at the framework for NGCDF. We must minimize cost of implementation. And one of the reasons is what that girl said. Procurement is faulty. In this country, we do 1 kilometer of tarmac road at over 100 million. Why? Why? Because our engineers, our procurement officers, our accountants, those are the culprits. This country, there are criminals in these areas. I will tell you where criminals reside. Criminals reside in the accountancy profession, where I belong. I want to start with that, so that other professions don't come for my neck. Accountants. There are so many criminals among us. You leave accountants, you go to another category called engineers. Engineers estimate. Hey, if there is anything sinking this country, is this so-called engineers estimate. Then you go to procurement. Procurement hapa, hata sisi tulifanya makosa mheshimiwa. We go and say the lowest evaluated bidder. Not even lowest bidder, evaluated. So how this evaluation is done? Procurement. Then another category, lawyers. These four professionals, if we change these professionals and we start behaving well, this country will develop. But these four professionals, groups, categories, accountants, procurement, engineers, and lawyers. Hapo ndiye kuna shida. If you belong to those professions, know you are the person who is putting Kenya where it is today. So we need to reform those professions, beginning at individual levels. Lastly, ni maneno ya basari. It is a valid proposal. Members of Parliament through NGCDF, 40% of NGCDF is for bursaries. Women rep, bursary iko hapo. Presidential bursary iko. Counties wanapeana bursary. If we could be clear in our minds that we want to help give free education to our children, and we forget about these people running around with forms all over the place, kujaza na kucheza siasa. Niko na checks hapa, so and so kuja, alafu ninaenda nyumbani when I'm very satisfied that today nimecheza siasa. Hiyo ndio inaleta shida. We could surrender the money, but will the money be surrendered? Have that conversation. No policy decision has been made whether we are merging the bursary funds. Because this is a conversation that I alone cannot make a decision on. Our MPs are here, the executive is there, all the other participants. So I want to end it there because I told you I'm going to Nairobi and I don't even know what time it is. Ni saa ngapi? I will come back another day if you welcome me. How many would want me to come again? Na nikirudi, this time nitacheza siasa. Hata mimi nitasema maneno siasa vizuri. Nirudi niseme 2 term. Wangapi wanasema nirudi niseme 2 term? Yeah, so those who will be, there are people who can speak after we'll have left. But I want to assure you, I will find opportunity to come back for a conversation. Tutaongea siasa. You will ask me the performance of government, where we have delivered, where we have not delivered. Na nitajibu yote. All of you, I will answer, each one of you. And I will tell you why tribalism is bad. Sindio? Some of you are tribal here. I am also tribal here. As if I chose to be born a Luo. Something you do not contribute to. Why are you proud about it? Did you choose to be a Meru? If you didn't make a decision to be a Meru, why are you being proud that you are a Meru, other people are useless? That I'm a Luo, other people are useless? What if my mother was married this side? See, I would be a Meru today. So achane na maneno ya ukabila bwana. This country, if it is going down, all of us, regardless of our tribe, let us look for leaders who can move this country from one level to the next. Nitarudi, mkikubali. Nitarudi, niwaongeleze. Asanteni sana. I know there are people who said that their names were not there. I will leave this with my team. They will also be sorted out. Now you said 50. Na hii list yako hii bwana. Hii ni yako eh? Oh, ile ya vijana. But we will get back to you. I thought you were giving me the names of the 50. The names of the 50, my people are here, they will sort you out. Wale wamekuja hapa, hakuna mtu ameget crash. Umekuja hapa because Mbadi came here. You came to see Mbadi and listen to Mbadi. Hata wewe lazima upate kitu kidogo. Ama namna gani? Thank you.
Thank you. Let's remain seated. Let's remain